Peace and blessings is real. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. I hope y'all are sincere. I hope you sincere brothers and sisters are truly edified by tonight's word. Before we get into this word, we must acknowledge our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through His only begotten Son, Yahweh for allowing this word to come out. And I hope you sincere brothers and sisters once again are truly edified by tonight's word. Again, we give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through His only begotten Son, Yahweh man, for allowing this message to come out. And the name of tonight's word is going to be called "People Who Live in Glass Houses Should Not Throw Stones." Okay, this is very common. This is a very common phrase. This is a very common saying. And again, the name of the word tonight is going to be called "People Who Live in Glass Houses Should Not Throw Stones," man. That's a cold proverb. That's a cold saying, man. A catchphrase, if you want to call it that. What you have going on in life, man, is that a lot of us are throwing stones at glass houses, not realizing they live in a glass house themselves. So you think about it. If you go out your way to throw rocks, to throw stones at glass houses, but fail to acknowledge you also live in a glass house, what you think is going to happen? If you throwing stones at somebody else's glass house, I can almost guarantee you them same stones going to be thrown at your house. So the moral of the story is, knowing that you live in a glass house, don't throw any stones, because those same stones those same stones are gonna come back your way. And we do this, people. Okay, when you hear the phrase "people who live in glass houses should not throw stones," in other words, what it really saying is, do not criticize others for a flaw that you yourself possess. In other words, don't be a hypocrite. That's right. And what you see on the screen, this is a beautiful example of a glass house. So you have to say to yourself, if you live in a house like this, you would be foolish to be throwing stones at somebody else's glass house, because it's the boomerang effect. It's the reason why you don't throw stones, because those stones will make their way back to your glass house. So when you live in a glass house, metaphorically, you're in a state of being fragile. You're in a state of being instability. Okay, unstable. So what end up happening is, when you attack that fragileness, when you attack somebody else's instability, you end up being exposed for the exact same thing. You see that? In Matthew 7:1, it says, "Do not judge others, and you will not be judged." In other words, man, don't throw stones when you live in a glass house. Okay? Do not throw stones if you live in a glass house. And if you don't throw stones, no stones will be thrown back at your glass house. You see how that works? If you live in a glass house, you should not be throwing stones, because what's going to happen is someone's going to throw stones at your glass house, man. Don't be a hypocrite. And a lot of us are 1,000% guilty of this, man. I hear people all the time. I've heard people chastise somebody else for smoking cigarettes, but at the same time, they smoking weed. Huh? You got someone that's telling someone how to run their marriage, but they can't even. But they fail. They failing in their own marriage. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you putting all your energy in other folks' business, but you ain't even taking care of your own business. Your own, basically. Let me put it to you like this: How can you go to somebody else's house and talk about how messy their house is, but your house is filthy as shit at the same time? That's a beautiful example of when you live. In other words, if your house is filthy, you don't go to somebody else's house and point out how filthy their house is. You have to go to your house, clean your shit up first. Then when you go to somebody else's house and it's different from yours, then you can say, hold on, bro. Why your house so nasty, man? But you got people that are literally leave their filthy ass house and go to somebody else's house that's filthy and have the nerve to try to style on them. That's throwing stones, okay, while you living in a glass house, man. Not understanding, not knowing that them same stones gonna come back to your glass house. In Luke 6:37, it tell you, man, do not condemn and you will not be condemned. If you forgive, you will be forgiven. You see that? Yeah. So I'm gonna just tell you like this, man. When you throw stones, those stones gonna come back your way, and your house will be handled the same way you handle somebody else's house, by throwing stones, man. You gotta be careful. I'm telling you, the boomerang effect is real. Like I said, what you see on the screen, this is a beautiful example of a glass house. If you live in this house, you should never ever be seen throwing stones. Because guess what? Them stones gonna come back right to where this house right here, which would be retarded, which would be very foolish and unwise. Treat others the way you want to be treated, man. Do not criticize others for the same flaws you possess yourself. When you do that, you are someone that's living in a glass house throwing stones, man. Cold-blooded, man. Again, man, like I said, in a nutshell, the message that I'm trying to preach tonight is don't be a hypocrite, man. Do not be a hypocrite, and we are 100% guilty of this. That's all I got for you, man. I hope you sincere, brothers and sisters, man. Really meditate on this word tonight. Meditate on the subject matter of hypocrisy. Because people are walking hypocrites, and they'll start a fight with you when you point out them being a hypocrite. They'll get upset with you and want to fight you because you pointing out the same thing that they doing to you. Ain't that crazy? How can you criticize somebody and then when they turn around and criticize you, you go crazy. You screaming bloody murder. The best way you can avoid that is stop throwing stones while you in your damn glass house. If you don't want stones thrown at your glass house, then you shouldn't be throwing those stones at somebody else's glass house. You see how simple this is? But like I said, people will be in a glass house and they'll actually throw stones at another glass house and have the nerve to be appalled when someone throws stones back at their glass house. This is where we at today, man. People got some nerves, man. People got some nerves. I hope you sincere Akims out there, Akwats, you sincere brothers and sisters, man, really got something out this word tonight, man. And hey, listen, keep Yahweh, through his only begotten son, Yahushua, first in everything that you do, and stay prayed up, man. And listen, if you live in a glass house, I'm going to tell you one more again, don't throw no stones, man. Because I guarantee you, them stones going to make their way back to your house. And you already know, living in a glass house, somebody throw some stones at your shit, you already know the end result of that. Food for thought, man. Word up.